following presentation is for educational purposes only. All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.
NinjaTrader Platforms Unleashed. We're going to talk about today a very powerful tool in the NinjaTrader Desktop arsenal. Now, remember, NinjaTrader Desktop is it's professional grade trading platform. It is, in my humble opinion, the best futures trading platform that I've used, and I've used them all. Just by the fact that I'm so old, I've used them all over the course of many years. So, one of the kind of I want to talk about this order flow market depth map. It's color coded. There's opacity levels, and there's data on the right hand side. And it looks at first glance, it's like, what am I looking at, right? What am I looking at first glance? But it's really, it's easy to understand what you're looking at, and it's pretty powerful. Now, if you've seen if you used Bookmap before, similar to Bookmap type of application, and really instead of tracking filled orders, right, like a volume profile would do, you track, those are where trades actually happened. Every day I use my order flow volume profile to kind of look at where price happiness is and where these filled orders happened. Were there actual filled orders, right? Actual transactions. This is different. This is showing us where pretty much think in terms of unfilled orders, or orders at least that haven't been filled yet, right? That have been sent to the order book and have been sent to the CME. So let me just kind of show a trading ladder really quickly here to help explain this. I'm going to open up a Superdome, a NinjaTrader Superdome. Again, this is the E-mini S&P, and I'll change the market to E-mini S&P there. Here we go. All right. So in the order, but this is called the order book, right? This is the price ladder. This is the Superdome. Prices are in the middle, right? As a ladder would suggest. And each price level here is the smallest increment that this market could move. And the E-mini S&P moves in quarter points, right? And each quarter point is called a tick, the smallest increment you could go. On the left-hand side, there's this buy column here that has volume, right? Look at it, that has numbers in there. These numbers are moving around, right? These are limit orders that have been sent to the exchange by traders. And whoever's trading in this marketplace, if you send a limit order, it's going to show up here on the left-hand side. And you can see in this particular market, these are orders to buy, right? Because they're below the market. Definition of a limit order is at my price or better. And they're dynamic, right? People are adding to this. They're subtracting from the book all the time. And that's why you could see these numbers are moving around, right? Now, this is where the trading ladder is a little different than the map, right? Than the market depth map we're going to talk about, because these orders are a snapshot real time of what's going on. This is like, I don't know how fast this data is. On the right-hand side, you're going to you have the same kind of numbers here. These are limit orders to sell. These are traders that are trying to sell at different price points, right? These are in the order book. Again, they're not filled. They're orders that are out there. And as the traded price kind of oscillates up and down, it starts trades that actually fill this inventory on the bid side or on the offer side. And so it's a constant kind of movement. And once a trade is filled, then you'll see it on the order flow volume profile and that histogram bar as it kind of expands. It'll never contract. It always expands. Okay. So this is called a level 2 NASDAQ level 2 look, right? This is what this is called, where you see the bids 10 ticks down, the offer's 10 ticks up, right? And gives it, and you could kind of say, well, let's see, is there a balance here in this market? Is there just as many on the bid side as on the offer side? You could make that decision. In a fast-moving market like this, you're probably going to, it's going to be hard to kind of count all the numbers in your head, but you could literally kind of get a feel for where important levels are. Now let's take it over to the map, right? And the map, once you and I'll show you how to turn this feature on. I'll show you that in a minute, but let's just kind of take a peek because I started this thing. This is on a 1 minute chart. Now, you want to do it on an intraday chart. You could do it on a tick chart if you want. If you do it on the smallest time frame on a tick chart, it's going to be pretty close to what you'll see in the dome, at least right at the prices we're trading. I have it on a 1 minute chart. And let's just talk about the colors of the bars on the left-hand side. Let's not talk about the numbers. Let's not worry about these numbers on the right-hand side. For this minute, let's just talk about these historic bars, right? So these bars are saying, hey, here are orders that were sent at this particular price, limit orders to sell, right? We're above the market right now. And it shows us where the higher concentration of those orders were sent at over a longer period of time, right? So traders might look at, all right, this is like a pretty decent, 5,600. We have 234 orders that were sent there that are sitting there, right? And you could see that this is dark blues, which means it was a higher level than any other level, right? That is because it was dark blue for so long. So this is telling me this is a longer term area of interest, right? Where there's going to be a lot of orders, and you can see that it's a pretty decent size. Now things have changed a little bit since then, right? So let's kind of go to the 1033 bar. I'm not used to talking about minute bars. Let's go to 1033 bar. Then we started accumulating interest above there, right? Of 56 even, 291 are sent to the book, 313,000. And these numbers won't go down until we trade through those numbers, until we kind of get to that point. We're not there yet, right? We're still several ticks below there. So that number doesn't move. But what it does tell you is, hey, there's orders up here, right? There's more orders up here than at 5,600, which is suggesting to me if we chew through these inventories at 5,600, then we'll make a leap up to the next level, or at least a next couple of areas of resistance. So we'll see. Or the other thing to look for is, hey, maybe this 260 holds as resistance. And then we end up coming back down to these lighter histogram colors here, right? Lighter histogram colors. So over a long period of time, it kind of shows you where a lot of interest is. That's kind of number one. And go all the way to the bottom as an example of that. Again, at 55.89, you have this, long-term, long-term, it's, minute chart, but from 1016 on till now, a dark, consistent darkness, right? And so colors will change as time goes on. So it gives us a really good footprint, if you will, or a really good snapshot of where traders are thinking over time are important areas and where orders are sent. So having said that, right now, again, we have 238 right now at 5,600, right? This is historic. This is a historic value. It's not going to match the trading ladder because the trading ladder is real time. This is cumulative right now. So we'll see if we get that 238. Again, order areas of interest. The darker the opacity, the more activity has been expressed over time at that level. Now I'm using a minute chart here. So you might say, well, why are you using such a short time frame? Well, because it gives me, this is a day trading tool, right? This is a day trading tool. And absent of some market news that's either planned or surprised, it could help me determine where equilibrium is in the market. And so far, that 5,600 level that we see here, let me open this up a little bit more so we could kind of get a better picture. Right here is, so far it's holding, right? We wicked into it. We have 281 right there, dark blue, really enforcing the idea that this is resistance, right? And this is the biggest number. There's no bigger number here until you get all the way up here to 0275. In other words, this is a strong area of interest too, and certainly the next tick up as well, just by the history of the length of that dark blue uh, histogram bar. But we still have to chew through these orders, right? These 200 and well, they're not 272 orders anymore in the order book, but this strong area of interest, right? Sellers are coming in right here. Sellers are coming in at this point saying, I'm happy at this price. I wouldn't mind selling here. So that's what this is. It doesn't track stop orders, right? Remember, stop orders are mostly market orders, right? They behave like market orders. So there we go. We just chewed up all that inventory at 5,600. And then sure enough, we ticked higher. So that area of support held for a minute, but then it kind of, we ticked higher, right? We chewed up all that inventory. Now the next area up here of resistance is 226, right? So this should attract like a magnet, and then we'll see if that holds or not. But time will tell. We'll keep watching. And as we get closer and closer to that 5,200 level, I'm sorry, the O2 level, right? Remember we talked about this O2 level. We'll see what kind of orders kind of pop in here. 255 right now. So that's how that's kind of the first glimpse of how you use this. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and just create a new chart. Let's just do an ES chart. And I'm going to go ahead and just, it could be any kind of chart we want. It could be a line on close. It could be a candle. It doesn't really matter, but I'll do a 5-minute chart for this one. So I'll just change it to 5, right? And then value would be 5-minute chart, 5-minute chart. I'll hit OK. It'll give me a new chart. All right. So this is just this is a naked chart, right? This is naked 5-minute E-mini S&P chart. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the market depth tool. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to indicators, and it's going to open up a window, and I'm going to scroll down to my suite of order flow indicators. I have order flow cumulative delta. We have order flow market depth map, which we're going to click on in a second. We have order flow trade detector. We have order flow volume profile, and we have order flow VWAP. So now I'm going to go to, I'm going to find my order flow market depth map. You could either double click on it, or you could highlight it and go to the bottom and click that add button. And it's going to go ahead and add it to the configured section. It's highlighted already. And then I could make some changes here. So I'm going to keep everything for now. We'll come back and make some edits here, but everything is out of the box. I'm going to leave it the way it is, right? Maximum volume range, minimum volume range, all of this stuff. Number of depth of market is set to 10. For most markets, depending on who your data feed is, you might get 20. You might get 20 depending on who your data feed is. For the E-mini S&P anyway, probably not for the other markets, but for the E-mini S&P. Opacity distribution is normal. Display mode. Now I'm going to use both real time and historical depth, right? The real time showing us that column on the right. The historical depth is showing the histogram bars to the left. And then slate gray. We'll leave it at gray for now, and I'll show you how to change that. Calculate on each tick. That's kind of important. I got the label there. I'll leave the label, and everything else is until we get down here to this plots. Let's not worry about that. Let's hit apply and OK. So the first takeaway is, hey, Jim, where are all these bars at? Number one, it only starts counting when you turn it on. So if this is the thing and when you log into your platform, if you have this set up or saved from the previous day, when you log in, it'll start accumulating this data, right? It's not going to go back in time. So you have to turn it on. The other thing that's important is, notice I don't have this chart linked to my market analyzer like I do with some of the other charts that I look at, because if I had it linked and I changed to a market and then I came back to the E-mini S&P, this history would no longer be there, right? This history is no longer there. So I have independent charts set up, right? It doesn't even have to be in a tab format. It could be just a standalone chart. And then when you log in, if you have it applied, it'll start generating this data, and eventually throughout the day, you'll have your order flow map that's pretty nicely presented, like we just saw in my 1-minute chart, because I turned that on from when I logged in this morning. Okay, so don't be freaked out when you just get one column so far, right? When you get one column so far, um, which is okay. Let's just take a peek at what this is showing us. So you can see though, this is what's these are 10 ticks above. All right, this is a good example. This is 10 ticks above and below where we've traded this particular candle, right? That's why you don't see any histogram depth below 55, 96 and 3/4. Let me just put my crosshairs there. Oopsie, my bad. Sorry about that. Let me just, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this guy. There we go. So down here, so right at 56, 55, 96 half, you see you don't see anything because when we turn this candle, when we turn the depth map on, that was the lowest 10 ticks below the lowest traded price for that time frame. And that's why it looks different than the 1 minute chart that I had where we had a whole range because it was tracking all day, right? So anyway, this is pretty keen because right now I'm seeing a huge amount of resistance right here at 5603. You have 425 contracts. And relative to everything else, that's by far the biggest, right? And it's dark gray. It helps you kind of visualize it, a little bit better. This is real time. On the left is historic. Now we have another 5 minute bar that just started, that was just born. And so now this, you can see now we have two columns worth of historic data so far in this 5 minute view. So that's again helpful to me, right? A lot of interest here at 5604. So how would I interpret this? Well, if I were to be short, let's say I want to get short this market, right away, that's an area of interest to me. And I could say, listen, this is where I want to put my stop loss if I'm short. It would be a buy stop, right? Or let's say I'm long and I'm looking for a destination. Well, there's a destination. There's a lot of folks that are happy to do trades at 5604. A lot of traders, 449 contracts we're tracking right now. So we'll keep an eye on that as it goes, but that's kind of how this whole thing lays out. And if you go down a little bit lower here, you could see there's also an area of interest right here, 55, 96, 25. We have 323 contracts right now. So a little bit of a volume cluster there as well. And I would say, well, these are folks that want to trade this range, right? They want to trade the range of the last three candles. So there's some orders down here as well. Now the other twist here is this could be, if you are already long, right? You're a trader, you're already long a contract or several contracts, then you become a seller, right? You want to take profit. So what this doesn't tell us is how many of these are profit takers versus how many people want to just establish new positions here. That's one thing it doesn't tell you, but it does really tell you about this area of interest. Now look at 5,600 right now. We got 1,120, 30, 1,154. There's a lot of folks that want to get short here, right? So maybe the idea would be, well, on a 5 minute chart, we have a really nice doji that formed in the previous candle. And we expect continuation selling. This would be a turnaround doji, the way I would look at it. And I want to get short here at 5,600. So again, it really helps pop these areas of interest. Where's the supply and where's the demand? We hear Gavin Holmes from Trade Guider talk about supply and demand areas all the time when he talks about volume spread analysis. And this gives you these inventory numbers, right? These historic inventory numbers, contemporary inventory numbers, and it helps give you the ability to identify areas of interest. Again, it's not an actual trade signal, but area of interest similar to volume weighted average price or a pivot level or anything like that. And note they're dynamic, right? So 5,600, no surprise that there's a lot of interest there, given the fact that it's a round number, right? And there's an options expiration number, so there should be a lot of interest there. And let's go over and take a peek at the 1 minute. Now I changed it. Let me show you how to do it to blue. Change it to blue really quickly here. Let me just go right click. I'm going to click on indicators. It'll open up my indicator box, order flow, market depth. And it's as simple as you could color code it however you want. I mean, let's just go to green. Let's go to green and kind of hit apply, and we'll kind of take a peek. Maybe that's better visually for you. I don't know. Opacity distribution, you could kind of make it more cute by clicking on high, if that helps you. And actually, I don't like the green on the green candle, so let's do something else. Let's go purple. Purple's a good color. Everyone likes purple. Boom, purple rain. There you go. So again, just the setting. Real time and historical. If I just wanted real time, well, I don't want to do that because it'll mess up my histogram bar. But well, it's okay. I'll do it anyway. Let's just say historical. Hit apply. This right hand side goes away. Right. This right hand side goes away. If I just wanted the right hand side to be there, the real time, then I would just click on real time. If I want them both, I'll click on real time and historical. I'll apply, and there they are. So there's not a lot to format here, to be honest with you, but it gives you do have some flexibility there. All right, so 54. We didn't get to 04. There's the next big volume cluster right here at 5604. And then down at the bottom here, there's interest around 96.5. You can see there's a bunch of dark purple down there. So again, there's a lot of orders down here waiting, right? Waiting. And kind of when I'm looking at E-mini S&P, I'm looking for numbers above 200, right? And this is a typical profile for the E-mini S&P. Every market's going to have a different typical profile just because the nature of the order book. Some order books are thinner, like the micro NASDAQ as an example. Some are a lot thicker, like the 10-year note market, right? Very, very thick, very, very popular market for institutions and retail traders as well. So that's all going to look different. But when I'm using this now, and I've been using this, I don't know, for about 10 days on a daily basis, I'm looking for these numbers over 200, even over 300, right? That are kind of important levels. And the other thing that could be helpful is in a range bound day, right? It could kind of bookmark. It could bookmark that range. These numbers sometimes, not always, have a tendency to bookmark that range, especially when you have the historical histogram lines are long and dark, right? The historical histogram bars are long and dark. We only have three bars here so far because it's a 5 minute. But again, these are areas that are sticky so far in the last 5 minutes. Whew, boy, what a day today. Hopefully everybody had a great 4th of July. I did, nice and relaxing. And hopefully you have some nice weekend plans coming into the weekend. I do want to remind everybody, Tom's coming up next, and he's going to talk about market breadth. So that'll be and think tick and trend, stuff like that. And it's more oriented toward the equity markets, but it's going to be an awesome discussion with Tom. All right, let's keep moving here though. Let's go back to the minute chart. And then I'm going to take my trading ladder here. I'm also going to add something. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to properties. And I am going to just kind of see what my properties are here of the dome, right? Depth of market, I'm going to keep that at 10. Auto center, that's fine. That's kind of a default thing you could turn on and off. Left mouse button is market of touch. Middle mouse button is stop. I don't have those two checked. We're going to display it in points. Let's keep moving down here. Show cumulative. This is what I wanted to highlight. Show cumulative market depth. So I'm going to check that. I'll hit apply. And okay. And now in the trading ladder, now we have even more data, right? So at the top of the offer, the sell column, you'll see a bold number. It's a bold font, right? That's cumulative. It's adding all of these up. At the bottom, let's see how they're moving around, right? Because it's, again, these are, people are adding to these orders, canceling, replacing, moving them. On the left-hand side, the buy column, same thing. We have a cumulative number at the bottom. And so this market's relatively in equilibrium. But, when you have these numbers that are divergent a lot, here they're tracking around 1,200, 1,100. on a regular basis. But sometimes you'll see on the bid side, there'll be 800. On the offer side, there'll be 1,200. And then you could say, well, there's more sell orders in the order book, 10 ticks around. 10 ticks around the price, right? That could give you a tell to suggest, all right, perhaps there's going to be some downward pressure here if there's all these orders on the sell side, right? More people are interested in selling. So then you could take that data, and compare it to the heat map, right? The heat map right here, and you could see it kind of makes sense. We're in equilibrium, right? Light blue all the way from 0225 all the way down to 5596 half, right? So this is a lower volume in terms of interest area right there, suggesting again there's just some regular volatility coming in, just kind of regular price action coming in, and not a lot of conviction at any single price until you get down to 96.5, and then 96 even, and then 95.5. You see things starting to get color coded on the opacity screen, right? There's orders down there. Now orders changed. We just saw a bunch of orders change, right? So let's take a look. This particular 5-minute candle went from dark blue to light blue, right? Those orders kind of vanished a little bit, right? This is just regular blue. This isn't dark blue. So yeah, there's one number, two numbers here, 207, 215. But you could kind of keep scrolling down and down and down. And again, there's not a lot of interest on the downside. There's not a lot of interest on the downside, where the resistance is up here at 50 at 04 even, and just a tick above. Well, you could include the 02 even, and then you could also include the 0225. This is there's a lot of orders right here, right? So again, these are areas of interest. A lot of times they act as magnets, and a lot of times they act as resistance. So it helps me complement my regular technical analysis that we do on a regular basis with the volume profile. Again, order flow tool, order flow volume profile. And then Tom and Mike are super fans, and so is Anthony Credelli, of another order flow tool, the cumulative delta. And let me just show you these again. So if you don't have the order flow version of the software, reach out to the website or to your broker, whoever that is, and try to get it. You could get it. Anybody could get it. So here they are. There's 4 things: order flow cumulative delta, order flow market depth map, order flow trade detector, and order flow volume profile, and order flow volume weighted average price. These are really keen tools that we use all the time. Now we're trying to sell off here. We'll see if we get our target. Again, target would be 388, which is 94.25. I'll just leave my crosshairs there and we could think about that.
All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.